Warning! Rest in peace, Headhunter. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Gotham, Season 4, Episode 7, A Day in the Narrows. I'm your host, Dom. Joining me, we have Nikki and John.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going.
Better than Headhunter's Day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know.
What'd you guys think of this episode?
This episode?
It was some parts like Saw, and then other parts campy cartoon show.
Yeah.
And I was totally fine with that.
And the whole Saw aspect of it, like the having Professor Pig play Officer Vizzoli, like in the ambulance and all that, like I knew something, and I was like, I bet that's Professor Pig. But then when he was like telling Jim, like, oh, I heard him do this and that, I was like, all right. And Jim's getting out of the, I was like, all right, whatever. I guess I looked too deep into that. You know, like I totally dismissed it after Jim left the ambulance intact.
Yeah, see, like, I didn't start thinking that anything was up until Jim's like, he couldn't have got here, and this, like, the whole, like, him figuring out that the ambulance and the courthouse and the timing didn't work out, and I was like, is it the ambulance driver? That's where my head went.
Yeah. See, even Red Bandit in chat says, I really liked Headhunter. And I did too. I thought Headhunter was great. He was funny. I have two pistols. The first one gets him every time. Second, it's just my signature. Loved it. Like, they gave him a catchphrase and everything. Like, how could you not like this guy?
No, he was cool. And honestly, I thought that once he lost his eye, I'm like, oh wait, is he going to be Deadshot?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
And I was like, that would be really amazing. And then he got stabbed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's Gotham. I guess it doesn't.
That is true.
But,
that is true. But yeah, no, he seemed like he could have been a really good Deadshot. Not out of the question, because Jerome literally died. He had his face cut off, stapled it back on. He's still walking around somewhere. So,
like a Grundy.
Yeah. So nothing is off the table with this show. No. And as they literally said like 5 episodes ago, it's Gotham.
Yep.
So
they themselves said it.
So 44 pig heads are delivered to the police station with 45 officers functioning, active duty. Apparently there's not one for Jim Gordon. I loved the whole reveal of this. I love the packages coming in with the blood. This didn't remind me of like Saw. This reminded me more of Seven. You know, what's in the box?
Oh, yeah.
With the UPS guy delivering, a package out in the middle of nowhere. So I got a big feel like, of that. So another one of my favorite movies. So I really did like this episode. But yeah. Penguin decides to get involved, and this is where, he introduces Headhunter, and the group of the cops and Penguin's thugs go to the Narrows. And the Narrows is a really rough place. They have to apparently treat all the tenants of the apartment building they were in like they are potential criminals. They're using extreme methods, beating the crap out of them. Headhunter drags some old frail guy on oxygen out the door into the middle of the street and threatens to execute him to make his wife talk. Like, that's insane. Absolutely insane.
Nuts.
I love the, I want to say like a Mexican standoff, but it wasn't quite that, but kind of was, with the police and Penguin's assassins and all that.
I don't know if you guys ever watched Boardwalk Empire, but it reminded me of this one part in season 3 where like the villains, like everyone's pointing guns at each other. It's like, you got guns, they got guns, I got a gun, everybody's got guns.
Like Oprah.
But I just loved, like, this is even more so solidifying my love for Headhunter when Jim's like, you know, I'm giving you 3 seconds, and Headhunter just turns and goes, "You have 2." You know, like, he does not give a shit.
No.
I loved it. And you know, then he goes to Jim after the lady talks, and he's like, "I'm glad that we were able to do the good cop bad cop deal. I've always wanted to do that." You know?
Yeah.
I was like, if Zaz ever goes away, like, this guy would be great replacement, because
Totally fine.
That's why he was in charge right now, is because Zaz was away.
Yeah.
But the lady does talk, and they go to Hoover Island to find 2 cops, and this is where we meet Officer Fazoli. And I understand it's a large police precinct, but at the same time, there's only 45 active duty police officers. You would think one person that was at the raid would have recognized that they didn't know who Officer Fazoli was.
I have a feeling he's been putting on that disguise a lot longer than just for this episode.
You think he's like an active duty police officer? Like infiltrated
Maybe?
them?
But
that would make sense because he did know everybody's schedules.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah, he could have been on the inside for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually that's even more Saw than led to believe, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's insane. The amount of dedication there.
What did Penguin say that Zaz was doing? He was visiting his bubby.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's his girlfriend or his grandma or his mom or his boyfriend. Who knows? But it's his bubby.
Whatever that means.
Mm.
But Officer Vizzoli, aka Professor Pig, Jim is unaware of at the time, leads them to an abandoned courthouse in the Narrows.
Mm-hmm.
And Admiral Akbar was just screaming in the back of my mind through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was getting really mad at Harvey for not listening to Jim, pushing this in. You could have at least proceeded with caution. Take Jim's advice into consideration and be like, look, we're still going in. I hear what you're saying. We're going to be extra careful. But they just strolled in, you know? Yeah. Strolled in, sitting like 12 people wide, you know, in this big open room, and then just fires upon, you know, the officer. Didn't even look, you know, to see if he was chained up or anything. Like, wasn't even armed.
Yeah.
You know? It was just standing there. Tied up, chained up by the foot or whatever. And there was a mannequin of a cop, you know, sitting in the chair. So they end up shooting the actual cop. And I'm just like, really? I was kind of mad at Harvey for that.
Harvey feels like he has something to prove.
He just really... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He feels like he has something to prove because he let Jim down in the first place, like by taking Penguin's money. And, you know, he hasn't really been a good captain to begin with.
No.
So.
He just really wants to be right about this whole thing. Like, and I, like, pathologically so, like, to the point where he's really not even acting like himself, you know?
No, not at all.
It's crazy. But even at the end of the episode, like, he still wasn't sitting right with him that he was wrong about all this.
No.
I mean...
No, but, you know, in the end, he comes around. This whole incident, I think, changed everything for him. And he basically told the rest of the precinct they're not honoring the what are those slips called?
The licenses?
Yeah,
licenses for crime.
The crime licenses, yeah.
Yeah.
And
which is good.
You see, you know, the other officers, no, we're not taking these anymore. We're not accepting these anymore. And then they turn to Jim and they like nod, like, yeah, we got your back. You know, and then Harvey doesn't look too pleased. Like, he doesn't smile. He doesn't, you know, anything. I think he's still having his doubts about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, he just he stares Jim down and he turns around and walks away, like limps off slowly. I know he's still recovering from his throat being slashed, but I don't know. It's
I feel like he had a few sips of his little
Flask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he did, but
Yeah. That would explain why he's kind of stumbling away.
And I don't think he likes his leadership being questioned.
No.
No, definitely
quite frankly.
not. I mean, at the beginning of the episode, he came in and Jim's sitting in his chair.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Little precursor there.
Probably.
Commissioner Gordon.
This is happening a lot faster than I expected. Like, we were talking about this, I think he was either the first or second episode of the season. We're like, so how long is it going to take for Gordon to get captain? How long is it going to take for him to be commissioner? And we're like, maybe the end of the season. We're just kind of like, whatevs. It sounds like it's going to happen soon.
Soon. Very soon.
Yeah. I mean, and it could be something like, oh, he gets commissioner and then has to step down, and then they could promote him back again later at some point, you know, just to keep up. But Batman canon's out the window for this series. Like, I've come to accept that. Like I've explained a few times, because of the multiverse thing that exists with the DC universe, I'm able to accept it way more than any other comic book adaptation out there. That it's just, oh, this is a different Earth that Batman functions completely different from the way we know it, and I'm fine with that. Completely fine with that. Because I see a lot of people. I was reading something, I think it was on Reddit or something today, where people were like, I don't understand how some of these villains are the same age as Batman or Bruce, and then you have Nigma and, you know, all these other characters that are way older than him. So by the time that Bruce gets into, you know, his late 20s, like he is in the movies and stuff like that, how these villains are not going to be, you know, walking with walkers and canes, and Jim is supposed to be, you know, an old. I know
not
they're
that much older, but yeah, I get what they're saying though.
But yeah, and there's, you know, like Jim is supposed to be the oldest guy in the police force, you know, at the time, and he's younger than Harvey in this telling, and you know, it's just I get where they're coming from, and I did share some of their same frustrations early on, but all that's out the window now. I don't care anymore. I just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
So, but we have Sophia here. She's ignoring Penguin. Right.
Pretty much. I mean, she said
avoiding him, yeah.
She's just minimum dialogue, whatever she's got to do to get through the day. He shows up while, you know, at the orphanage, and she's paying way more attention to the kids, like she should be. Like, I'm not being like, oh, you're ignoring. No, you're doing exactly what you should be doing. But Penguin's not liking it.
No, he needs to be like the first in everybody's mind, or he's not happy.
Yeah. What the hell's up with that creepy girl there?
I don't know.
She's always in Penguin's way, and I loved it.
It was fine. I thought it was perfectly fine. Because, you know, he can't kill the little girl. Usually he kills who's ever in his way. He can't do that. Not with this little girl.
He physically has to pick her up and move her so he can watch the TV or get out of the room. You know what? Like, she was just always in his way, and I loved it. And you know, I was hoping that they dropped a name for her or something. You know, like, didn't even matter if she was a DC character or not. I wanted to be able to give her a name so I could call her something, because she was fantastic. But you know, even Sophia's just like, ears. You know, and she's got to cover her ears when they're having a discussion. She didn't even say anything bad, you know, but...
not really, no.
No.
So, I don't know. But then we had Penguin, after the whole incident with the Officer Vizzoli trap. Penguin just offs Headhunter. He stabs him once in the throat, stabs him again in the side, and he goes, second one is just my signature. And I was like, oh, Penguin, too soon.
I can't remember what Headhunter said before that happened, but it was pretty sassy, and that's probably why ultimately Penguin stabbed him. Because I think it would have been fine if he didn't say anything.
Maybe. I think Penguin was kind of over his enthusiasm, let's just say.
Yeah.
After the frustrating defeat.
Yeah.
You know?
Could be. What'd you guys think of Bruce this episode?
He is too young for this. He needs to stop and go home.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm
drink?
so disappointed. Yeah. I'm so disappointed in Bruce this episode.
He's a millionaire. Don't millionaires get to drink whenever they want?
No, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Oh.
I don't think that's a law in the books, but
I thought it was.
Check.
I thought millionaires could do whatever they wanted.
Well, he seems to think so.
yeah, that's right. He does now. Yeah,
that's definitely the impression that he gave me. Yeah,
I mean, the fact that he's sassing Alfred and waiter dude.
Yeah,
you know,
you bumped into me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bruce.
Dude, chill.
I almost thought his little like daydream was real, and I was like,
"Oh yeah,
oh boy."
That was some American Psycho shit.
When Grace showed up, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, we went to school. Whatever. You remember me? Are you as bored as I am? Yeah, let's get out of here." So she goes to her friend's parents' house.
Yeah.
Like it looked more like a loft apartment or something. And the guy was talking crap about Alfred, and Bruce just like snaps and starts beating the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. And previously, one of the other guys sitting at the table was someone Bruce actually beat up. You know, they even did that on the previously on Gotham. They showed it.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, but we're cool now, right? You know, kind of like, you know, he just kind of like dismissed it. I deserved it kind of deal. And then it cuts to like Bruce beating the shit out of this guy, and then all of a sudden Bruce is standing back and just with his fist balled, and I'm like, oh god, like Bruce is just having, you know, what he wants to do versus what he's actually doing. And like, this could be bad.
American Psycho, telling you.
Yeah.
Not good.
So they definitely notice Gloria or Grace. What's her name? Grace. Grace starts like convincing him, oh, we should go to that club you were talking about or whatever. He's like, yeah, I can get us all in. No, you can't.
No.
So Bruce walks up, talks to the bouncer. Bouncer lets him in. Bruce goes talks to some other guy in a nice suit that's standing off on the side. Turns around, he's like, yeah, I just bought the place.
Yep.
Come on in.
Everybody can come in except for you douchebag.
But I will take your sunglasses.
Yep.
That's like everybody's dream to do to like somebody who's being a dick, you know, like that.
Well,
be like, I own this thing that you wanted to do now, and you can't do it still, you know, like. Huh. But yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I love frivolous Bruce with his money. Like ever since he started, you know, buying the Raj's knife on auction, you know, it's fantastic. So,
yeah, and he's just like drinking, loving. Just
At the end of that scene, though, he looked wrecked. Just all sweaty, and his eyes were all
12-year-old.
Yeah, like, did you see how much champagne he was drinking?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is too much champagne for a child his size.
He was drinking it straight from the bottle. He had a full glass that he chugged. And then he had the mountain of glasses that he was pouring the champagne down. Like, can only imagine how much champagne he drank. And I think Bruce was 13 when we started this series. And we're in season 4 now. And we know that there's been at least year time jumps.
I thought he was 16 this season.
So I was going to say he's going to be 16, 17 right now.
Yeah.
We don't know the exact amount of time that's passed. But yeah. So he's still nowhere near old enough to actually drink.
No, not like that. I mean, and really, champagne, that's not a good hangover. That's not a good hangover.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
To be fair, probably within a year of him, I was drinking a little bit too, so I wasn't going overboard like that, but you know, may have had like a beer here and there.
Sure.
But that's about it. You know,
yeah,
not party Bruce, but Yeah.
It was different. I mean, he's turning into the playboy Bruce Wayne that we all know and love. So,
Yep.
I guess there's that.
Mm-hmm. And then we had Barbara, Selena, and Tabitha. Barbara's getting ready to close up shop now that Raj is dead, and Selena wants to keep it together.
Mm-hmm.
Tabitha's kind of caught in the middle. She doesn't really want to deal with Barbara, but she expects Barbara to hold up her end of the deal, and she's looking out for Selena. So Selena wants to be there. She wants to be part of a family. She wants to be part of something, like have somewhere to call home. It's kind of what she's been looking for. So now that they have this, Barbara's like, nah, there's no reason to do this anymore. So Selena's like, look, I could prove that we could do this. And she's like, I know the Street Demons, one of the biggest motorcycle gangs in Gotham. I know where they keep their stash. So I'm going to go, we should go hit it up and show Barbara that, that we could still do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tabitha's like, no, that's not a good idea. So Selena goes and does it on her own. She gets stuck, calls Tabitha in for backup, and Tabitha tries. She also gets cornered, and it looks like they're going to have to go out with a big gunfight until Barbara shows up with some Chinese food.
Yeah, and some bullets.
Yeah, a couple bullets. I mean,
Couple.
maybe 4 or 5.
She said she took out 5 of the guys, so...
Yep. Selena got to use her whip just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much, but... Yeah. I don't know. To me, Professor Pig is definitely the highlight of the episode.
Yeah, and they're keeping him going, which I'm glad about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still at large right now. I thought this was going to be like a one and done thing when we first met him, and then it went to 2 episodes, and here we are 3. And I was like, I feel like at this point, and I'm going to say this now and totally shoot myself in the foot, I see this going until the winter break. Like,
I was just thinking that.
Maybe, yeah.
But now that I've said that, they're probably going to deal with him next episode, and that'll be it. But,
I hope not. I hope you're right.
I hope not either. I'd love for him. He's probably the most compelling B villain or even C villain, because I think we kind of had this discussion before, but I think like Bane is a B villain, you know?
Yeah.
Like Bane, Mad Hatter, the Scarecrow even. It's only recently that Scarecrow's kind of elevated to somewhere between A and B, but like before the Christian Bale Batman movie, nobody knew who Scarecrow was. I can't say nobody because fans of the animated series knew who Scarecrow was. He was very involved, but I mean, like the casual Batman fan never knew who Scarecrow was prior to that movie.
No.
See, Nikki, she's walking testament. But yeah, so I'd go as far as saying Professor Pig is a C or maybe even a D villain, and he's escalated to quite big status here, and I like it, and I want to see more of this. I'd like to spend more times with villains like this than try to set up some of the villains we all know and love. Don't get me wrong, I love them, I want to see them. I can't get enough of Jerome. If he's actually the Joker or not, it's still to be determined, but it seems like it's going in that direction more and more that we get of him, and I hope we're getting more of him this season. But he's always the highlight of the season for me, no matter what he does, so hopefully we get more of him. You guys have anything else for this episode?
No.
Nope.
No. Next episode, episode 8, is called Stop Hitting Yourself. So, just stop. Grundy and Enigma become main attractions at Cherry's place in the Narrows. We're spending a lot of time in the Narrows recently, I noticed.
Yeah.
Penguin wants revenge when he hears Enigma is mocking him on stage and enlists the Sirens for help. I don't know who the Sirens are. Meanwhile, Gordon is offered the position of the GCPD captain, putting him at odds with Bullock. So
there it is, folks.
Not quite commissioner, but
Nope.
Captain.
Captain first. Yep.
It's a start. Do we have any idea who the Sirens are?
some ladies.
I actually
no,
don't
they're
know.
not the mythological sirens.
No, I feel like they are still ladies. Otherwise, what are they? Some goofy villain that have like little like police sirens on their head and they run around going wee wee wee.
Okay, so apparently in the DC universe, it is a group of female villains consisting of Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Catwoman. That's who the Gotham Sirens are.
Oh, maybe Barbara, Tabitha, and Selena are going to start going by that.
It could
Maybe.
be. Could be.
That'd be interesting.
And maybe this will be the introduction of Poison Ivy in her new form.
Maybe.
Very cool.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Because they were in the game Gotham City. That's who they were in that particular game.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, we know that they'd like to change things up here. Red Bandit in chat says the sirens are Selena, Barbara, and Tabitha. So yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And so I guess that's our show. Nikki, where can people find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24.
Excellent. John, where can people find you?
You can find me at No More on Twitter.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Do.
And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, YouTube, and right here on Twitch, or right here on YouTube and Twitch, however you're watching this.
We don't know. We're not your mom.
at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next time. See you guys later. Even Cleo in chat going do 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 do. Cleo!